Yes, anybody? Any questions? Yes or no? Any all of you have seen the last video on container markings and CSC plate?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start today with this. Start with main common types of containers. So you can see the share screen. Sahil.
Yes, sir. Visible, visible.
Okay, so we are going to see the 11 most common type of containers. You must be knowing already most of them. So 90% of the world cargo is moved by ships, and out of that the most amount of goods are transported by containers. So biggest share of shipping is container shipping. But there are so many different types of container, but we'll study the most common one. So of course the first one is general purpose or dry container. Then flat rack, open top container, double door container, high cube container, open side container, reefer container, insulated container, half height container, tank container, and swab body container. So now we'll go to read each and details of each and every container to weigh or lift them on and off the chassis. If you use like a general purpose container, which you have mostly seen, you can put most like a general per cargo ship. Same way you have general purpose container. So dry container, whatever dry items like your parcel box of any Amazon or courier company. These shipping containers are fully enclosed, as you can see in the picture, protected from elements and weatherproof. So as per the DG, there is a requirement that if it goes in water, it should survive for 3 months, 6 months, like that, within the packaging, marking, everything. With a rigid proof side walls and floors. Dry containers are by far the most common type of container. So this is the most simple common type of container you see everywhere in ports, railway, yards, and container depots. Side walls and floors. Dry containers are voice is clear. Dry
Yes,
containers
sir. Yes,
are
sir.
by far the most common type of container and as such are used to load most types of normal cargo. In addition, general purpose containers can have adaptations such as liner bags or flexi tanks for shipping certain types of liquid bulk cargo or dry bulk cargo. Flat rack containers. So, flat rack containers, this simple storage container has collapsible sides that can be folded to make a flat rack. The end walls are stable enough to allow cargo securing. So, they are ideal for shipping goods that are oversized, such as heavy machinery, vehicles on tracks, big reels, and construction material. Some 40 feet flat track shipping containers are suitable to carry as much as 45 metric tons of cargo. So they can carry a lot of cargo in one container, around 45 tons or more. So this is a flat track container. It's just a flat container with some cargo, collapsible sides that can be folded to make a flat track. So we'll see that. The end walls are stable enough to allow cargo securing, so they are ideal for shipping goods that are oversized. So if you have some like a little crane or some things which is bigger than a container, or like a giraffe or something, you can use this. Ideal for shipping goods that are oversized, such as heavy machinery, vehicles on tracks, big wheels like trucks or something. You can use flat track container. Then you have open top container. So the top is open, rest all sides are closed, and there is a door, which you generally have in all the containers. Convertible top that can be completely removed, like your a car or something which has removable top glass or something. This is suitable for cargo that is over height and can not be easily loaded through the door, such as tall machinery or other heavy bulk finished products, whose handling and loading can only be performed with a crane or rolling bridge. Open top containers have lashing rings installed to the upper and lower side rails and corner posts to secure cargo. So if you see here, you will have all the lashing rings to lash the cargo on top and down, maybe inside also. Open top containers have lashing rings installed to the upper and lower side rails, corner posts to secure cargo, and are available in 20 foot and 40 foot. So all the containers are mostly available in 20 foot, 40 foot, otherwise specified. Then double door. So normally you have one side door, but sometimes you can have double door to load cars or something from one side and take out from other side. With doors on both ends, the shipping container, this container type is also known as tunnel container. Double door containers actually helpful for quickly loading and unloading goods, and they make an even wider room for goods such as steel and iron. Both set of doors have the same locking assembly and weather tight seals to keep cargo protected from the elements. High cube containers. So you see, this is the normal size of container, and this is a little high cube. High cube containers are similar in structure to general purpose containers, but taller by about 1 foot. So it's called 45 foot. This is 40 feet in length, and this is 45 feet. These containers come in sizes 40 and sometimes 45, are used in cases where a slightly bigger volume capacity is required. Most high cube containers have a recess in the floor at the front end to center the container on so-called gooseneck chassis, which allows it to lie lower and be of taller construction. Then we have open side containers. Some containers are open from the sides. These are similar to the regular general purpose containers. Only difference is the door is completely open on the side. This feature provides much wider room and access. So if you are using a forklift or something, you can directly put the cargo inside the pallets or something, which makes loading and unloading materials easy. Open side shipping containers generally come in 20 foot and 40 feet, and they provide adequate room for extra large items that can't fit through the regular doors. Then reefer container, we'll study that in detail. The reefer container is basically for loading some refrigerated cargo like fruits, vegetables, meats, etc. ISO shipping container used for the shipment of temperature-sensitive perishable cargo such as meats, fruits, and vegetables. This container type relies on external power to keep the temperature regulated. So you will have a plug should be connected here, and to the there will be a ship store somewhere nearby where the plug from wire from this container will reach to the ship's store, and there will be a like a pipe, the wire you will pass and will connect it to the power supply inside the ship store on deck. This container type relies on external power to keep the temperature regulated. Reefers generally come in 20 and 40 foot and commonly made from weathering steel known as cotton steel. Then you have insulated containers. Like ISO reefer container, an insulated or thermal container has a regulated temperature control that allows them to withstand a higher temperature. They are equipped with electrical compliance mechanical compressor to cool or heat the air within the container. Insulated containers are typically constructed of a vacuum flask similar to a thermos bottle. As such, they are most suitable for long distance transportation of products such as foods, pharmaceuticals, organs, blood, biological materials, and chemicals. So, anything which has to be thermal contained or maintain the heat, control the temperature without any AC, then they are equipped with like a compressor or electrical fan to cool or heat the air within the container. These insulated containers are typically constructed of a vacuum flask, like you have a flask bottle similar to a thermos bottle. As such, they are most suitable for long distance transportation of products such as foods, pharmaceuticals, organ, blood, biological materials, and chemicals. Now, half height container, as you can see, if you want to load something which is of very small size, you can use these half height containers. Designed for transporting bulk cargo that is heavy and dense. These are good for transporting goods such as coal and stones. So, coal stones are very heavy. So, if you put in them, then the weight will be same, but the density of cargo is so much that in this much space, same cargo will come that is come in the full height container. So that other space will be empty. So better we will have a half height containers. That's why we have this half height container. These are good for transporting goods such as coal and stones, and they are perfect for use in mining industry. Half height containers have a low center of gravity so that they can better handle heavier loads than taller containers, making them versatile and they are robust enough to withstand a rough industrial environment. Half height containers are also easy for loading and unloading. ISO tank containers. So you have tanks for different types of cargo nowadays, gas or oil, petroleum, some whatever liquid you can store in the tank that will come in this tank container, like ATF, heavy turbine, HFO or heavy turbine fuel, aviation turbine fuel, all those different types of oils or chemicals you can load here. Tank container tankers are made of strong steel and or other anti-corrosive materials for the transportation and long life protection of liquid materials. A tank container must be at least 80% full to prevent dangerous surging of liquids in transit. But it's not be more than 90% full, 95% full, or there would be a sufficient room for thermal expansion. So in cold or hot, it will expand, so it needs some room. So it should be between 80 to 95% full. If it is more than 80% empty, then there will be sloshing or moving effects of the container. Then swab body containers. Swab bodies are exchangeable containers used for road and rail. They are commonly used in Europe. Swab bodies have a convertible top, which makes them suitable for shipping a range of goods. Because swab bodies do not have upper corner fittings and are not stackable, they are restricted to land based transportation only. So there is no place for putting a twist lock or something. Mostly these types can be used in a like place like America where people use car containers or different spaces for shipping. Nowadays, even in Mumbai, you find many places they are putting containers and living there from maybe some long time. Then you see here like this from the yard or somewhere. The containers are lifted like this to place in the correct position. Then we can weigh the container from these types of machines. Like we were checking the tear weight, cross weight, and all those things. Now let's see the reefer container. So reefer container, as you know, it is a container to load refrigerated cargo, And reefer container is crucial if you need to transport perishable temperature sensitive goods. Read this blog to find out all about the features and benefits of reefers. Plus, learn how reefer containers pricing is done. So, pricing is also important. So, first thing is, what is reefer container? It is used to store refrigerated cargo. What is the container used for? So, these are the questions you can be asked. So, let's start one by one. What is a reefer container? A reefer container or reefer is designed to transport temperature sensitive cargoes at precise temperatures, built to work as a large refrigerator. Basically, it's like a AC room where you are maintaining the temperature as per the required goods inside. Built to work as a large refrigerator, this container type can usually maintain temperature between minus 30 to plus 30. So this is the temperature range. Reefers come with a refrigeration unit. Okay, this is a reefer container. If it's some maybe whatever fruits or something, and this is a unit at one end, which when connected to a power source, the unit fills the container with chilled air. Um, so it will fill the room with chilled air as per the temperature what you are setting. And in turn, this constant flow of air helps to maintain the desired temperature inside the unit. Naturally, reefer containers are in high demand nowadays. As we discussed, more than 50% of the trade in dry bulk is done by containers. So, and then you have a lot of demand, especially for reefer containers. The fruits we are getting from so many countries like America or sim like that, from Dubai, Saudi, the dry fruit states. Some businesses rely on their local network to meet their special containers needs. However, this way they can never be too sure about the prices, and even if they are willing to pay high prices, the container they need may not be available when they need them, especially at a short notice. So you have to plan this container shipping, as I told you, it has to be planned for a long time, 6 months like that. What will be the voyage? What are the requirements? What are the container requirements? Everything we have to see. Then container, what is reefer shipping container used for? Obviously, it is used for shipping temperature sensitive goods for transporting dry cargo. Which goods, refrigerated goods, are common? Refrigerated goods is meat, frozen and chilled, seafood. So there's a three types of store on normal ship, like deep freezer and then normal freezer and a fruit and vegetable room like a fridge. So the most important freezer is for meat, frozen and chilled, because this requires quite negative temperature. Like in seafood, it's moderate cooling, can you can maintain it. Fruits and vegetables, yes, moderate. Milk and dairy products. So all this will be inside the, like you have it inside the fridge in the ship. Same way, this will be stored in this refrigerated container. And so many juice, beverages, wines, everything they can get. Now reefer containers. What is the use? Ice cream, frozen meat, frozen food. So this is what effect it is causing to the greenhouse effect and the drugs and pharma sides of that. So let's see pharmaceuticals. So there are so many medicines transported through containers. Drugs are also pharmaceuticals are also usually shipped in reefer. Reefers containers play a vital role in COVID-19 as the nations entered into lockdown. Reefer containers are made it possible to ship medicines and vaccines wherever they were needed. To ensure that all safety regulations are met and that reefers are in prime condition, reefers are to transport the pharmaceuticals. So it should be a very good condition for the reefer to transport medicines. And these containers also have to undergo inspections wherever there is a time. You should take it for inspections. Then why we have this reefer container, or why the controls are necessary to maintain as per reefer container and repair them whenever required, because the first thing, most important thing is you should do this. Shipping dry cargo as a non-operating reefer group. Right. While a reefer container isn't built to ship dry cargo, it still does. In fact, you would be surprised to learn how regularly reefers can carry dry cargo. So it is not only for fruits, vegetable, meat, and all, but it also carries some dry cargo. All you have got to do is deactivate the refrigeration unit, and voila, your reefer is now a standard dry container. So if you switch on the reefer plant, reefer machinery, it is a it is, if you're just putting the dry cargo, it will be called a standard dry container. Then non-operating reefer container. It's a refrigerated container with the refrigerant turned off. So it's a reefer container, but you're not using the reefer unit. The cargo is like maybe dry or something. Now, why would anyone want to do that? The answer is to make the most of the repositioning. So you brought some containers from China to Singapore, and then the items which you want to transfer are so expensive you cannot keep them. So then you use this term for the container. It's a dry container. Okay, standard dry container or any container. The nature of the tracks is such that almost every third container in the world is shipped empty. So this is the condition of the trade and voyage. This is not only wasteful but also very expensive for container owners. So sometimes shipping dry container is also expensive for them, because the next place where we go, they will get the charges for transportation, food, and everything which is here, and also in the back home. So even with the issue of empty containers, it can be difficult to get hands on empty containers in your desired location with your budget. This is most likely due to having a small local sourcing channel. So getting a container, you want to transport something, getting the type and size of container wherever you are is not like Amazon very easy. But you have different companies like Exchange where you can use. Then how reefer container works? Obviously, there is a refrigeration plant. You must learn by now that a refrigeration unit is pivotal for maintaining cold temperature within a reefer. Several other features work together in order to refer the to function. Let's make a few 2 minutes to understand how reefer containers work now. So you have the like sensor, like a AC, and there is a reefer log we maintain where we write all the temperatures, set temperature, actual temperature, morning, evening. Sometimes if it is going out of the way, then 3 times. And also we take there is a chart, part flow chart, which we will discuss in your this. So before it was used to be there, now it's quite rare, which used to record the temperature for every 24 hours. And we have to keep that for the full voyage marking. Then reefer containers maintain cool temperature by the refrigeration unit. So you have a spares box supplied with the reefer container in case in emergency आपको रिपेयर करना पड़ रहा है कंटेनर को. If you want to repair the container in emergency, you'll have a spare maintenance box. And also on reefer container ships, and many times we have a special reefer engineer which will help in case of any problem in the reefer or refrigeration plant. Or sometimes you'll have some store technician on board or to consult with. So reefer container uh, maintains the cool temperature through its refrigeration unit, distributing the chilled air through the floor of a reefer container. If you look, the floor of this container has grooves, also known as T-shaped decking. This decking allows a constant supply of cool air to circulate. And if you are planning to use a reefer, Note that it cannot reduce the temperature of your goods. Reefer container only maintains the desired temperature. So it does not reduce the temperature of the good, but just maintains the temperature. If you'll have, you will have to pre-cool your cargo to the temperature you want the reefer to maintain first. So there is a generator set which provides electricity for the refrigeration system, and also you have the plug system for in the ship. The provides electricity to the refrigerator in order to work. Reefer is used usually connected to a power source on shipping vessels. So as I told you, there is a store on the midship, and there will be a wire plug, and you will connect that reefer cable to the plug in the mast house. But for extremely sensitive cargo that spoils quickly if not at its ideal temperature, gensets provide a backup power source. It's been best to use a genset equipped reefer to ensure that safety of your cargo. So there are normal reefer containers, but there are some containers which come with a backup power. So in case there is due to some reason you are not able to supply from the ship's power or there is some power failure, the inbuilt generator set like a UPS backup inverter can work for some time. Ventilation keeps goods fresh, obviously. So there is a ventilation, but controlled ventilation like AC. The entire point of reefer container is keep your goods fresh. Fruit and vegetables release heat, water, and carbon dioxide. If these gases are not removed, they cannot damage the they can damage the cargo by using controlled ripening and aging, causing uncontrolled ripening and aging. So if there is too much oxygen, there will be the fruits or vegetable, whatever is there, it will start getting damaged and change the taste also. Therefore, the reefer must be kept ventilated at all times. So there is a ventilation requirement. Then relative humidity that will also affect your ventilation. So different cargo require different humidity levels. Our dehumidification setup helps maintain the right levels of humidity in a reefer. So drainage, different cargoes require different humidity levels. So uh, there is a dehumidifier also, because when the cargo is getting cooled or hot, there will be some sweat released, water vapor released, and to remove that, we have a dehumidifier. Then there are some people who log all the data of temperature, supply air temperature, return air temperature, exhaust temperature, ambient temperature, present level, humidity level. All this is recorded in the container log, temperature log on the container ship. Drainage reefer container also has a sophisticated drainage system in case of water accumulation. The drainage is in the container will remove the waste, preventing flooding and damage to the goods. So it depends. If you're lucky, you'll get a drainage like this, proper drainage from top and down. Okay, so this drainage will remove any trapped air or some any smell problems, and also also if it is a part of your syllabus, you will get it. So the drainage should be there in the, especially in the reefer container, because the goods, as I told you, sometimes hot and cold, the goods will release some sweat or water, which should be drained out. So the drains in the container remove the waste, preventing flooding and damage to the goods. Now you know how the reefer container works. What are the dimensions as we discussed? 20 foot, 40 foot, and 40-foot high container. So 40-foot high container means, yes, anybody? Sahil, how do you store the cargo in? Sorry,
Yes, sir.
everything is clear?
Yes, sir. I just have one doubt that so these containers will be having the width almost same, na sir. Then only we will able to stack one by one, na sir.
Yeah, the width is same, but sometimes the height is different. 20 foot length is different, and sometimes the height is different, but the width is same.
Okay, sir, that is understood. That height will be like half height containers and all as per the purpose of that
Half height,
container.
5 cube, 45 feet high cube, or then the length maybe 20 foot or 40 foot, but width will be same.
Okay, sir, understood.
8 feet. Once you
Yes, sir.
have narrowed it down to the right size, the next step is to figure out how you should store your goods. So now we have to take care in the storage plan. As you know, internal air circulation keeps the temperature stable inside a reefer. This airflow is affected by the type of packaging and the method of stuffing. So different goods have to be stored differently to ensure constant airflow. If you have to send a shipment of chilled meat from Australia to South Korea, to retain its shelf life in Korean market, you'll have to load and store the cargo in such a way that the air flows through it constantly. This airflow will remove heat and gases produced by the cargo as well as keeping the reefer ventilated. So there is a process called controlled ventilation, and controlled ventilation, like any food products, especially if oxygen is passing through them, it will deteriorate fast. So we'll pass a controlled air which has a lot of carbon dioxide instead of oxygen. So it's like an enclosed space, or like something similar to inert gas, but it's called CA, controlled atmosphere. So the air is mostly filled of more fill of carbon dioxide than the normal oxygen, so that these items they don't deteriorate, and also the temperature keeps them fresh, like not deteriorate so fast. Now let's take a look at what happens when you're shipping the frozen food. So you have a shipment of ready to make frozen French fries. If these aren't stored properly, their texture, taste, and quality may be negatively affected, and you certainly don't want that. So packaging और टेम्परेचर मेंटेनेंस, एयर वेंटिलेशन, कंट्रोल एटमॉस्फेयर में ये सब चीज़ें ज़रूरी है कार्गो की क्वालिटी मेंटेन करने के लिए. And you'll have to stack the goods tightly, making sure there aren't any gaps. Blocking the airflow will help to keep the food at low temperature. So this is a frozen pre-cooled French fries to correct carrying temperature as prescribed. So if they have studied that if you keep it at this temperature, maybe 3 degrees, 4 degrees, it can last for maybe 2 weeks till the time we ship it from one port to another. It's only necessary for air to circulate around the periphery of the load. So what is the general cost of a reefer container? In different countries, it's different. Like in China, you have $4,000 for 20 feet, $6,000 for 40 feet containers. And so this is Chinese dollars or yen. Then in USA, one container is $13, 13.96 or $13,000 or $6,000. So in USA, everything is more expensive like that. In India, things are comparatively in between, and of course UAE and Europe are expensive. Okay, now we are going to study a few things in IMDG. So what is IMDG code? So IMDG code is a big topic. We'll just see some intro today, around 5 minutes, and then we'll continue next time. So IMDG, as per SOLAS Chapter 7, carriage of dangerous goods, and also MRPOL Annex 3. So the IMDG code is very much living document, gets amended from time to time. The last decade, major changes were made to emergency medical schedule and MFAG, medical first aid guide, and INF code. So these questions are asked in most of the orals. IMDG code means the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code, adopted by Maritime Safety Committee of the organization by resolution this. The objective of the IMDG code is to ensure the safe carriage of dangerous goods while facilitating the free, unrestricted movement of such goods and prevent pollution to the environment. Obviously, the main aim of the code is to prevent pollution to the environment by not putting any dangerous goods in water, air, or anywhere in the sea, land, anywhere. International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code gives a uniform international code of dangerous goods for transportation by sea. So first, of course, in chapter volume 2, it has IMDG has three parts. One is volume 1, then volume 2, and then there is the supplement which has the emergency schedule in case of fire and spill, medical first aid guide in case of medical injury or medical problems, and there is a INF code also. And volume 2 is about the dangerous goods list, chapter 17, and like that. Uh, it has 18 columns, the UN code list, and it gives the methods of packaging in packets or in container storage and segregation. So how do you have to pack the container, how you have to store, and how you have to segregate, everything will find in this place. Then of course it is mandatory as per Solas chapter 7 part A, and which prohibits the carriage of dangerous goods by sea except when as per IMDG code. Otherwise you cannot carry any cargo if you're not following the IMDG code. You cannot carry any dangerous cargo. And of course, in Marco Annex 3 also prohibits the carriage of harmful substances in ship in bulk in packaged form. Carriage of harmful substances in ships except when carried in accordance with IMDG code. Then what is the application of IMDG code is applies to all the ships mostly as per SOLAS, and the provisions of regulations of that convention apply to passenger ships. So in some passenger ships also, if that type cargo is there, it will be there. Basically, from July 2002, all ships will have this IMDG code applicable and mandatory. Just a minute. So these are the contents of IMDG code. Basically, the aim is to regulate the transport of dangerous goods by sea and to use both books to obtain the required information. What are the dangers? What are the precautions? How to do the storage securing? What to do in case of fire, spill, ingestion, inhalation? All the dangers, properties of type of classes there. So these are the general contents of the IMDG code. This is for volume 1 general provisions. So it has 7 parts and divided into 2 books and volume 1 and 2 use. So parts are there. First is general provision, then classification, packaging, tank provisions, consignment procedure, construction and testing of packaging, intermediate bulk containers, large packaging, portable tanks and road tanks, provisions concerning transport operation, dangerous goods list, limited quantity exceptions. The dangerous goods list is central core of all of the IMDG code and presents information on the transport requirements for all dangerous goods in coded form. Following are the supplements of IMDG code: EMS guide, emergency response procedures for ships carrying dangerous goods; MFA guide, medical first aid guide for using accidents involving dangerous goods. Then there are reporting procedures, UN number for packaging cargo transport units, recommendations for safe use of pesticides, INF code, international code for safe carriage of packet irradiated nuclear plutonium and high level radioactive waves on board ship. Then you have different classes of cargo. This is the very important thing. You will be asked the classes or sometimes what cargo is in which class. So this is the last topic we'll do today. There are different generally classes most as per the danger. So most dangerous cargo we can carry is explosive. Then there are different sub class one is explosive and there are sub classes as per the different dangers and properties of explosive. Then gases, flammable gases, non-flammable gases, then flammable liquids, then flammable solids, then substances liable to spontaneous combustion like coal, substances which in contact with water emit flammable gases like sulfur, oxidizing substances, organic peroxide, toxic and infectious substances class 6, class 7 radioactive material, then class 8 corrosive substances, class 9 miscellaneous dangerous substances, and class 10 marine pollutants. So you have the labels or symbols for different types of different classes, and then class 4, class 4 you can see toxic substances, class 7 radioactive material, class 8 corrosive substances, class 9 miscellaneous. So like this, documents required for carriage of IMDG cargo are shipping declaration, document of compliance, dangerous goods manifest. So you need all these documents before carrying any IMDG cargo. So tomorrow we will do what is shipper declaration, DOC, dangerous goods manifest, and other part what is UN list and all. So any questions till now for today, Sahil?
No, sir. No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, so the questions, some questions of reefer containers and all we already discussed. Then tomorrow, once we finish IMDG code, we will discuss what are the uh, questions for IMDG code. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namah. If you have any questions or you find some questions from orals also, you can put in the group. So we'll answer that in the group or in the class tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir.